the very rusty arches. That front wing's Boston green. Since I don't have the tool, I think I'm just going to do one of the silly ways. So these are the old seats, these are the new seats. Hi guys, welcome to the video. This is the second video of me working on this Vento. If you want to catch the first one, it'll be up here in the suggested video box. In this one, I'm going to be carrying on from where I left off in the first part. I've got the brakes to do, I've got some stone chip to paint, I've got some brake lines to do, I've got the wheels to get, and various other things that I need to do before it gets on the road. I hope this one passes the MOT. I know the Skoda passed its MOT, but I don't have the logbook for it, so hopefully this one does, and I have a car, and I'm not just borrowing cars and taking lifts everywhere. So in part one, I seam sealed around these welds here, but what I'm going to do is an extra sort of protective coat, and to protect this bare metal here, is paint it with some stone chip protector. So the next thing to do is this rear brake. It is pretty well stuck on, and there is also, I don't know if you can tell, quite a bit of play in the hub itself. So I'm going to take this off, see what the bearings are saying, see what is causing the drum to be stuck, and go from there. Tiniest bit of play which you need for the bearing, so yeah, wheel's good. We'll move on to the other side. So now we're on to the other side. Hopefully this one isn't as stuck as the other one. So there we go. Both of the rear brake drums now done, as well as the rear bearings. So I'm going to move on to doing the brake lines, and then after that I'm going to do a little bit of body work. It's not going to be very good. I'm going to get the right, so I'm going to address the problem of the very rusty arches. So what I'm going to do here is pretty much just etch primer and paint. It's already pretty rotten. I don't have the time to sort this out. I don't want to fill it, so it's just going to get a coat of etch primer and then paint, and then I'll probably lacquer it as well, just so it's not too obvious. But it's basically just to stop this from getting worse, because I plan on doing this in the future. It's just that at the moment I haven't got time. It needs to be on the road. It ain't gonna look pretty, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, I'm going to give that about 10-15 minutes to flash, and then I'll come back through with a colour coat. So I know it may seem strange that I'm standing on a ladder to paint this, but my dad's currently doing the brake line, so time is of the essence. And that's not even the can of paint that I wanted. Right, so this has been flashing for around 10 to 15 minutes now. So I'm going to hit this with a coat of lacquer, and that's this side done. So yeah, that's this side done. Is it as ugly as you thought it would be? Because it's uglier than I thought it would be. To be fair, this might not be the green I thought it was. Well, there was a couple of greens, and I might have.
You've just picked one.
I've picked a green, and I thought it was that green. Well, that front wing's Boston green.
It's a colour.
It's like 7 different shades of green, but I don't care. I just need to go down the road.
You know it's your car.
No, I won't leave it in a car park, will I? It's that weird Volkswagen saloon with there's like 9 different colours, but all of them green. So now it's time to paint this side of the car. I'm talking to camera. It's alright. So now it's time to paint this side of the car. I've got various different primered parts around here, which I'm going to quickly just scuff over and then shoot some paint on them, just so any exposed metal parts just don't rust, pretty much. Now I'm going to move on to lacquering over this. I don't imagine this is going to look particularly good, but whatever. So I left the paint to dry over the weekend, so that's all dry now. And I also went and got some tyres for these wheels. So they're on. These are going to go on the car now, and then the only things I've got left to do are free up the front brakes a touch because they're a little bit sticky. I've got the passenger side interior to do, and then I've just got a few service items and little bits like putting bits of trim back on and the indicator lens back in, replacing the wiper blades, stuff like that. So not much left to do now. I'm going to go get on with it. So, Vento passed its MOT this morning, so I'm just going to finish it off by reattaching the trims and fitting the rear seats. So, it shouldn't take too long. So these are the old seats, these are the new seats, so I'll put these in. So now I'm just putting the sub in. I've heat shrinked and put some ring terminals on the wires that were coming into here because they were just, you know, straggly, and I thought it might be best to actually terminate them properly. Since sitting on this this boot section, I've realised that the rear suspension travel is actually quite a bit, and I mean, you can see I'm moving, you know, a couple of inches, and the arch is actually going to hit the tyre, so I need to roll the arches. There's proper ways of doing this with like a tool and that, and there's a bunch of silly ways, and since I don't have the tool, I think I'm just going to do one of the silly ways. And here I have a bit of scaffolding tube. Here I have an arch that needs bending. So I think what I'm going to do is just lower it down a bit onto this, and then hopefully be able to roll this along here and fold up that inner lip there, because that's what's catching on the tyre. I'd rather have wheel clearance than paint. So there you go. If literally all you want to do is have clearance for when your suspension articulates, and you don't care about whether the rust on your arch just comes through, or whether the paint stays on it, then yeah, it works. Would I recommend this method? No. Does it work though? Yeah. So that's finally it. It's road legal, MOT'd, ready to go. So I know it's 7 different shades of green, it's rusty, it's slow, it's noisy, it pukes out black smoke, but I don't really care, because now I actually have a car to drive instead of just borrowing my dad's. To be honest, this has been quite refreshing when I've been working on my BMW 328i for so long, trying to get it, the paintwork immaculate, and it's been nice to kind of work on something where I don't really care what it ends up looking like, because I just need it on the road. So it's been a bit of a change of pace. Eventually I'm planning on painting this, and I'm going to cut out the rear arches, put new arches in, but at that point it becomes one of those cars where it's too nice for you to drive it all the time. You don't want to drive it all the time because then, you know, you're worried about getting it bumped in a car park or whatever. Whereas if it's kind of a bit crummy, like you go out and you drive it and you're not bothered about those things because you think, well, in the future I'm going to do this, but then if you never actually get to that stage, you'll probably enjoy your ownership of the car more and you'll actually drive it. So yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. The next one's going to be this thing getting cleaned, polished, and we're going to see how good I can make this terrible paint job look with a polisher. Because that's how you do it, isn't it? You spend 15 minutes painting it and, you know, 4 hours polishing it. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.